The Memphis Grizzlies unintentionally just saved themselves. Early on, it looked like for the last couple of years, they had a potential dynasty brewing here in Memphis. And then Ja Morant turned into Ja Wick, decided to start flexing all his guns on Instagram, and things took a turn for the worst. But this year, with him being suspended for the first 25 games and then him only playing like 10 games before getting hurt, this might have actually helped the Grizzlies in the long run because they were able to try some players out in the rotation. They have some new guys like Ja Jackson, who we wouldn't have been able to see 50 games worth of Ja Jackson, 26 minutes a game, if it wasn't for Ja Morant only playing 9 games and the Grizzlies not playing serious basketball this year. Same thing for like Scottie Pippen Jr., Vince Williams Jr. They gained 3 rotation pieces, or guys that are worthy of having a rotation spot for the next few years, out of this down year, I guess you could say. And they also gained a lottery pick, a pick that is going to be at least in the top 9. They have a bit of an issue when it comes to the payroll. They are in salary cap hell right now. We're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about the Grizzlies going forward because they have a lot of pieces, but there's going to be a lot of moving parts yet again this offseason for the Grizzlies. So stay tuned for the full video. We'll also talk about the core that they have right now, but this low-key saved them because Ja Morant, Desmond Bane, Jaren Jackson Jr., Marcus Smart, that big 4 right there combined, there was one of them that played more than 45 games this season. Coming into the season, the Grizzlies were fresh off of 2 50-win seasons, one in which they got to the Western Conference semifinals, and then last year they were the 2 seed and lost to the Lakers in the first round of the playoffs, which is unfortunate. But due to all of this success, they have a lot of people getting a lot of money over the next few years. Now, this Jaren Jackson Jr. contract that they signed was actually pretty genius because it was front-loaded, so he's only due to make $25 million next year, which is an absolute steal when you look at his cap hit percentage against the cap, and then $23 million the year following. That was a really, really good contract right there. Marcus Smart signed on until 2026. Desmond Bane signed on until 2029. Ja signed on until 2028. But they will have some cap casualties this year that they are going to have to probably move on from. Luke Kennard is scheduled to make $14.5 million this year. That's a team option. We'll probably have to let him walk. Good thing they have a top 10 pick. And the guy that I've been mocking to them the whole time is Dalton Knecht, who's the best shooter in the draft, who is an upgraded Luke Kennard. So we'll talk more about that later. Brandon Clark scheduled to make $12.5 million for the next 3 years. Probably will have to move on from him as well. I mean, they're going to have to make some moves. John Conchar making $6.1 million for the next 3 years. That is a horrible contract, but they do have value. Scottie Pippen Jr. they will have to re-sign, but he is on a very small contract. Ja Jackson is under team control until 2027, making less than $2.5 million. Same thing with Vince Williams, under team control until 2027, making less than $2.5 million. So they have some good value contracts to go along with these massive deals that they have signed. So going forward, they could throw together a lineup that looks something like this. Ja Morant at point guard with Marcus Smart at the 2, Desmond Bane at the 3, Ja Jackson at the 4, and Jaren Jackson Jr. at the 5. That is a very good lineup. Only one of those players will be over 26 years old next year. And then off the bench, they could have guys like Scottie Pippen Jr., Santi Aldama is still under team control. Vince Williams Jr. They got Zaire Williams, who's still under team control. They have the number 7 overall pick. Like I said, Luke Kennard and Brandon Clark could be cap casualties because if you look at their, cap table, they're only $4 million under the first apron. And if you don't know what the first apron is, it is the new way that the NBA does the salary cap, and it really restricts you and what you can do during the season when it comes to making moves. Now, a couple of other cap casualties you could look at: Jake LaRavia, $3.3 million team option, and Yuta Watanabe, who just retired from basketball altogether. That's an extra $6 million right there you could get, and like we said, you could trade John Conchar. So there's about $12 million. You could, in a way, if you make some moves, if you're the Grizzlies here, if you want to wheel and deal like you're a 2K GM, you could definitely get under the salary cap here. But going into next year, you will have Ja Morant, who this year, 9-game sample size, but he averaged 25 points per game, 8 assists, 5.6 rebounds, 1 steal, and 47% shooting from the field, 28% from 3. Now, Ja on his career is only a 32% three-point shooter on 4 attempts per game, but we're talking about a guy that was All-NBA second team and 7th in MVP voting just 2 years ago at the age of 27. As long as you keep all the guns away from him, he should be fine going forward. Then you have Desmond Bane, who's averaging 24 points per game, 4.5 rebounds, 5.5 assists, 1 steal on 46% shooting from the field, 38% from 3, giving about 8.6 attempts per game. Jaren Jackson Jr. is averaging 22.5 points per game, 5.5 rebounds, 1.6 blocks, 1.2 steals for a total of about 3 stocks per game. 2.3 assists as well there, shooting at 44% from the field, 32% from 3. Now that efficiency is alarming for an almost 7-footer, but I think he will be fine going into next year. You got GG Jackson Jr., who was GG Jackson II, one of the better surprises of this year, averaging about 14.5 points, 4 rebounds, and 1.2 assists for the Grizzlies this year in only 25 minutes a game, shooting at 43% from the field and 36% from 3 on 6 attempts. Not bad at all for the 45th overall pick in the draft. And if you look at his per 36 numbers, he's averaging 21 points a game, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, and a block per game. Really good stuff there from GG Jackson. Very excited for him and his future in Memphis. And then Marcus Smart, the final member of this starting 5, averaged 14.5 points a game, 4.3 assists, 2 steals. Between Smart and Jaren Jackson Jr., they have some elite defense on the interior and the perimeter. However, Marcus Smart just 43% from the field, 31% from 3 on 6.7 attempts. Not good. He only played 20 minutes a game, he only played 20 games, so we'll give him the LaMelo Ball treatment that he never really could get it going. Give him a bit of a pass. Brandon Clark, Luke Kennard, both averaged about 11 points per game, and both of these guys will have to see about their future on the Grizzlies. Kennard, he shot at 45% from 3 on 6 attempts this year, though, so definitely a guy they would love to keep around. A couple other guys here that they were able to see play a lot this year. Scottie Pippen Jr., 13 points, 5 assists, 1.7 steals, 50% from the field, 42% from 3 on 3.4 attempts. This guy is an everyday NBA player, and he proved it this year. That's a heck of a year in 25 minutes a game for the 23-year-old. Was he second year? I don't know when his technical rookie year was, but first real active stint in the league for more than 2 or 3 games. And then Vince Williams Jr. averaged 10 points a game, 5.6 rebounds, 1 steal, 1 block, 3.4 assists on 45% shooting from the field, 38% from 3 on 4 attempts. Love Vince Williams Jr. Have since the draft. The Grizzlies have gotten some great value in the second round here as of late. And then finally, they have the best chance to get the number 8 overall pick, and I would love Dalton Knecht there to replace Luke Kennard to save you about $8 million. With that being said, that's going to be it for today's video. That is how I think the Memphis Grizzlies accidentally saved their future as a franchise this year. If you did enjoy today's video at any point, make sure to the like button and leave me a comment down below, as it will really help us out in the YouTube algorithm, and hit that subscribe button. And with all that being said, thank you so much for watching today's video.